Well, this is the last time I'm going to get to say this to you this year, and I wish that I could do it in person and I wish I could see all your smiling faces, but hopefully we will see each other again soon. So, for the last time, good morning, 8th graders. This is our last day together, and I have missed you, and I again really hope to see you next year, and I hope I get to say hello, ninth graders, to many of you next year if I see you in the hallways or coming into the school. Let's hope that that's the case. So, a couple announcements before I wrap up the giver for us today. So, first announcement is if you have any late work that you want to turn in for partial credit, the deadline to do that is by midnight tonight. And so I will be going through those on Saturday and Sunday and updating the gradebook. So please be aware that you have until midnight tonight again to finish any outstanding assignments that you have not done. Second announcement. Typically we would do this in school, but there is an end of the year survey that I always give out on the last day of school to my students. It won't take you long. I do want you to be honest. It is meant to give me some constructive feedback about the course and what was helpful to you, what you enjoyed, things that I can do better, etc. And your responses, I would like them to be honest and truthful. They are not going to impact your grade at all. So make sure that you are honest about those. But in being honest, just make sure that you're also not rude or mean. So we want to make sure that we're giving constructive criticism and not being mean. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to say is for those of you who have logged in every day, have done your work, have pushed through all the struggles of online learning, you've dealt with technology issues, you've dealt with illness, you've dealt with other problems or situations at home, I just want to say that I am so proud of you. For those of you who logged in consistently, who did your work on time as best as you could every day, who asked questions, who engaged, who joined our Google Meets, who joined our Quizlet live sessions. So I'm just proud of you because I know that this has been a difficult time. And for those of you who did do that, I can see that you are problem solvers, and that's an essential skill to have in life, to be able to solve those problems and continue to forge ahead. I can see that you are hard workers. I can see that you care about your education, and that is really important. And for those of you who have done well during this online time, I know that you are going to be successful in ninth grade because you are hard workers, you do care, and you are problem solvers. So good job to those of you who did that. I'm very proud of you. And I know this has been tough, but you've worked through it. Congratulations on that to those of you who did so. So I want to wrap up our Giver book, and I always ask you at the end of novels, what lessons can you learn from these books? And so today I did it in kind of an interesting way. I did it as if the character were telling you what lessons they wanted you to learn. And at the end of this video, I'm going to ask you to write one lesson that we could learn from a character that you make up on your own that's different from one of mine. And you'll put the lesson and the character's name, and that's the last assignment you have for me. So it should just take you a few moments. And then you want to fill out that end of the year survey. So I'm going to take you to the lessons that I hope that you learned from The Giver. By the way, if you like The Giver, there are 3 other books in this series. So you might want to check those other books out, or if you like Lois Lavery's writing style, you might want to check her books out as well. Always ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can. This is something that The Giver encouraged Jonas to do, and I encourage you to. Curiosity is going to really help improve your education. The more questions you ask, the more you learn and the more you know. Work hard and strive to be fair. Mother worked for the Department of Justice, and she strived to fairly treat all of the people who came in front of her in her role as judge. And she was also seen to be doing work at home in the evenings after her job, too. Enjoy life and have a little fun. We saw Father doing this. He also worked very hard at his job, but he also knew how to enjoy his life and have a little fun at times. Sometimes we have to experience pain and tragedy in order to appreciate and fully live life. The Giver. So in Genesis Society, we saw that pain and tragedy had been completely taken away. People did not experience those sorts of things. If they did experience pain, it was very minor. And so we learned from the memories that sometimes we have to go through those experiences in order to fully appreciate our lives. Be a supportive friend when your friend or friends are going through a difficult time. Fiona, she stuck by Jonas even when she could tell that things were not the same, when things were different between them. She stuck by and tried to be supportive still. Volunteer to help others in your community. So we saw that volunteer hours were a requirement. I would strongly suggest that you get involved to help your community as well. Do not take for granted the wonders in your life like colors, love, animals, music. Jonas' Society did not have any of those things, so make sure you don't take those for granted in your own life. Be yourself. Do not worry about being the same as everyone else. Jonas. So there was an emphasis on sameness, everybody acting the same, everybody being the same. They even genetically modified people so they all look the same. But that's not the case. You need to be yourself. Freedom of choice is important, but it's also important to be educated so you choose wisely. So yes, it's important that you have freedom of choice and get to make your own decisions about your job, about your family, about your future spouse or children, etc. But it's also important that you are educated so you can make good choices. Jonas and the Giver were always worried about people choosing the wrong option. And yes, we can obviously learn from our mistakes too, but to avoid yourself some pain, make sure that you are educated to choose wisely. Make sacrifices to save others or improve the life of others. So Jonas made a great sacrifice by leaving the community and risking his life in order to save Gabriel and in order, honestly, to save the quality of life for the rest of his community. Read all the books you can and never let people limit your access to books or information for that matter, the Giver. So make sure that no one censors your right to have access to books or education or news or media. Okay, congratulations, 8th graders. You have survived online remote learning. And again, I would like you to fill out the survey that's on Google Classroom after you watch this video and write one lesson that you have learned from one of the characters in The Giver. If you have any other questions, please let me know. And also, again, I hope you keep reading. Like the Giver said, read all the books that you can. So I hope that you keep doing that and shoot me a line or a message or a Student Square email telling me what you're reading this summer and let me know what you're enjoying and perhaps we can talk about those books and you can even maybe tell me more about them in the fall. So keep reading, keep expanding your education. Have a great summer. I miss you all very much and I hope I get to see your smiling faces very soon.